Hi, and welcome to a new episode in the Macaw Ayahuasca Retreats podcast. Here, and this is a space in which we are trying to give you, and we hope to give you knowledge, tools, and tips to have the best ayahuasca experience you can have by preparing, living it, and integrating it. Today, we're going to be talking about how an ayahuasca ceremony is the beginning, not the end. That means that we're going to be talking about the integration phase. On the program we have a preparation phase or a preparation session, so to say, but also a phase. We have a ayahuasca retreats here in Medellin, Colombia, and then we have the integration sessions and the integration phase. If you want to know more about it, we can give you more information. Look in our profiles and our social media. You can find our contact and we can give you more information. But we're not gonna be talking about the integration session. That's what I want to be being clear about it, but rather about the integration phase of the ayahuasca experience, because I believe this is very important. That the integration phase is the most undervalued part of ayahuasca. It is very famous, the preparation part. I've seen in some websites that people are doing like group preparation diets, and that people sell you about the ceremony, how the place is going to be, and the shaman. And yes, that is crucial and very important. And in fact, the one of the best ways that you can prepare your integration phase is by preparing and experiencing the best ayahuasca you can. But that doesn't mean that if you do those two, you're not gonna be having to have this part, which is the integration, which is, in my opinion, the most important part of all. Because this is, as I once learned from a person, I don't remember his name, but he said that the most important part of learning is making it instinctual. That means that, and this is a power of ayahuasca, it has the benefit that the teachings are given to you very powerfully to your body. That means that it goes into your cells and into your skin, into your DNA, and it has the potential, the most of all the psychedelics that I know, to go into your skin. That means that it has the potential to go into your life, into your lifestyle, into your actions, into the way you behave, and in return, the way you live, and in return, your life, your results. So integration is that part, is how you integrate the idea, the teaching, the vision, that psychedelic part into your actions. And that is crucial. So let's start with the mind part. Ayahuasca is a psychedelic. You're gonna be seeing most of it, and your ego is gonna be telling you that everything you saw was in your mind. It's like a dream. We say and we know that dreams do not exist, but that they happen in your mind. So everything you're gonna be seeing in ayahuasca is gonna be in your mind. I was telling this in another podcast, but this is very important. In the mind, it is gonna be stored there, but there is like a mechanism in your mind which is gonna be working very hard to make you not believe that, to make you forget that. This is the reason why we're not thinking about what we dreamt at night all day long. We think about it maybe the first hour of the day very strongly, but then we forget it. And this is very important for you to understand, because we always think at 6 a.m. that we're going to remember that very important dream and that very important message, or that very important idea that we had at night or in the dream. But at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and let's not even talk about 12 noon, we don't remember anything. We don't remember the emotion, the exact words, the exact image. Maybe we will remember the like some image that our ego has created. But there is, as I'm saying, there is a mechanism of your mind that tries and is very effective at making you forget that. So ayahuasca is much more powerful than a dream, but it doesn't mean that it isn't fragile to that. So my main focus, or my main tip here, and that's why I'm going to give it first, is that you need a method to bring down what you saw. And in my experience, this is what I have felt, or what I have tried 100 times, is that at first I tried to write down, even with a keyboard, or then I was trying it by hand, and then I was trying to draw it, and I was trying to do everything by hand, because I wanted it to be documented and I wanted to remember it. So I tried that, and it was very frustrating, because you gotta understand that the messages that you're getting from your ayahuasca, and here I'm starting to get a little bit into the spiritual part, and I'm sorry if you don't believe in this, but you're going to need to know some of these things. Is that it's going to come all the information through your crown chakra. That means from the highest of your chakras, which is the one, it is the energy center that is above your mind chakra. That chakra travels at the speed of light. Okay, you don't need to understand it, but what you need to understand is that the mind chakra is slower than the speed of light, but it is the next fastest one. So the speed at which we see things in ayahuasca and that it speaks to us is very, very fast. And then people are trying to write it down. Writing down something is done with your hands. Same for drawing. Same for writing in a keyboard. Same for whatever you do with your hands. Those things are part of your heart chakra. That is 2 levels below your mind chakra. It is very frustrating to do that. So the best way you can do it is by talking, by using your words, because words and your throat chakra is the next low level after your mind chakra. So using your words, what is the best way I have found is telling a friend, telling somebody that is going to be able to understand you, listen to you, and you to have the opportunity to talk everything about your experience as many times as you can. So you will have maybe one friend, and then try to find another one, and each time you do that, you will notice that you will get new epiphanies, you will get new insights, you will get new ideas. So not all of us have friends and families that want to have that conversation. This is why we have the integration session, which is mainly you talking, us trying to help you interpret that, but it is mainly you talking. It is you having the opportunity to talk to somebody else. But if you don't have any of those, use the recording in your phone. Record yourself or talk to yourself, but maybe record yourself because you can go back and listen to it. And after you have got to the end of that phase, which is a phase in which you know you have finished, there's a feeling that you're like talking about your experience and you've talked every detail you can. Now you don't remember anything new, and you have it like a symbiotic relationship between your words and your mind. What you remember of your ayahuasca experience is the same that you're talking, and it's like you're able to repeat it. If you talk about it in the morning with a friend and you talk about it at night that same day with another friend, you're gonna tell the same story. So there's a feeling that you have finished talking about it. Then I recommend writing, because now writing is bringing it down to the body. And because you're using your body to write it down. Now, let's talk about the body. Now that you have all the insights, all the ideas, comes for me. This is the part which differentiates a person that really understands ayahuasca and the other one that just experiences it and like can tell his friends how many cups he has gotten, or what places he has gone to and which shamans, and they can tell you the best names in the world, but you see their lives and they don't change, or they live like in a fantasy. And I want to be very clear, I'm not that kind of person. I have identified myself from the beginning that I'm somebody that goes to ayahuasca and applies ayahuasca. Once a very close friend of mine told me that by him not doing what ayahuasca was teaching him was making him go to several ayahuasca experiences and seeing the same one again and again and again. Why would you want that? Do you want to travel to other countries or to the jungle and spend a lot of money and energy and have to do a lot of things and then leave ayahuasca to see the same things again and again? I think that is not the purpose of ayahuasca, or at least not what I think it is about. It's like if you buy a book and then you read page 1 and it has 3 paragraphs talking about a flower, and then you go to page 2 and it has the same words and same paragraphs, and page 3 and the book has 1,000 pages. Why would you want to read it all the 1,000 pages? You just read one and that's it. So ayahuasca is an endlessly library of knowledge. But if you don't apply that knowledge, ayahuasca is not gonna give you more. It will tell you again and again, because ayahuasca goes by priorities. It is very wise. And if you haven't chipped away the number one rock, number one obstacle, it is gonna teach you again. So here's what comes with body. Do the thing that it told you. The thing that it was very clear. It could be, and it is mainly the thing that you most hate about your ayahuasca experience, that you hated the most in the moment it was told to you. It was maybe the hardest part, the part where you went to the bathroom and you don't want to go back to it, or when you talk again, as we talked in the first part. It is the main insight. You're gonna know about it. Body is acting. So how do I recommend this? I recommend you going to an Excel file, create an Excel file, or have your book, if you have a journal or a personal book, write down the dates from now to, let's say, 2 months from now, and you could start. You don't have to write 60 dates, but you can start by the first week. It's just like a commitment to do it every day for 5 minutes, something about that. Let's say, I'm gonna give you an example. I have had about 10 to 15 visions in different ceremonies about this project, this specific project, Macaw Ayahuasca retreats. At first, I said, I'm not good enough. Then I said, okay, I'm gonna try it this way, but I didn't do it every day. But in my last ayahuasca experience, it was very clear, and it was like it was even like math, so to say. So I have now a note in my personal notes. I have an Excel file with 60 dates, so to say, and I write every day, did I do something about Macaw Ayahuasca retreats? What did I do? And I also write notes on each of the days. What did I do? What did I learn? Or why didn't I do it? But the what is the goal? For me to do it every day, something, just one thing. What you need here is habit. You don't need to be doing something. What is the main reason why people don't do what they need to do is because they try to do. Let's say this is the reason why people subscribe to gyms on January, and it is the best month for all gyms. But then people live in February and mostly in March. Why? Because people don't stick to it. Because people want to have their year's resolution and go 4 hours to the gym, and it isn't sustainable. If you didn't go in 2024 to your gym and then you're trying to go 4 hours in 2025, you won't last for 1 week. So what I suggest people is do it for 5 minutes every day. It's like brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth every day. Why? Because it takes 1 minute, and what is happening now is that you can't even stand not brushing your teeth. Or that is what happens to me. I cannot stand not doing it because it has become part of my DNA. It's like my teeth are screaming when I'm not applying it. Why? Because I did it for 1 minute every day for I don't know how many years, and now I cannot even imagine one day without doing it. So that is the main tip I can give you on body. And on the spiritual part, you're gonna be much more sensible, which means you're gonna be much more connected with the energies of spaces, of food, of restaurants, of your co-workers. So what I suggest here is you the most you can. This is as possible as you can. Take the most time after the experience that you can. People suggest that you have very relaxing days before ayahuasca experience, and that is okay, but I don't suggest that so much. If you have your routine the last days, it's okay as long as you're respecting your body and your sexual energy and everything. But you can be having your routine, then go to your experience, and after that have at least like 2 to 3 days to land. You need a soft landing, as soft as you can. It would be the worst for you to have an ayahuasca experience on Sunday and then be in your office on Monday. It's not such a good idea. I suggest you go back to your routine slowly. So you are on Monday at home. You're back to your routine, so to say, which is home, but not entirely. So you go to the office and home, and then you have to think about breakfast and then lunch and then dinner and then your boss and then problems, stress. I don't really recommend that. That is the most sensible part. On weekends and at night, try to stay at home. That will be a natural thing for you to feel. It is something that is going to be telling you yourself, and you're going to be having epiphanies. You're going to be having new dreams, visions, things that are going to be happening to you and that are not normal. As one of the shamans that I work with, he said, in the world of ayahuasca, nothing is going to be normal, but everything is normal. What that means is that people are going to feel and think that everything is very strange and that they're being crazy and that they're getting mad, but it is normal. You have to understand that it is normal. However, you don't have to suffer of it, because I suffered a lot at the beginning, because I was thinking I was going to become a crazy person. What you can do is what I told you. Bring it down. Bring it down is you're gonna have thoughts that are gonna be very fast. Don't try to write it down, or don't try to act it and make it part of your lifestyle. No, start by recording yourself. Say that to yourself, because those are thoughts that you're not even going to want to tell it to your friends, because it's going to be crazy thoughts. So record yourself, get the insight, bring it down, record yourself once again, repeat it, and then when you have the insight, download it, so to say, write it down, and make it part of your commitment. The most important part of ayahuasca here of the integration, I want to bring it down to commitment. Commit yourself to record everything you saw, record everything that is coming through your soul and through the energies. Commit yourself to be have prudence with your energy, where you go to, the places, the persons. Those first days, the stress, because you're gonna be sensible, and commit yourself at last and at least of applying. The number one thing, if you want to apply 10 things about ayahuasca, I don't recommend it. I recommend that you start with number one. What was the main thing that you saw in your ayahuasca retreat and your ayahuasca ceremony? What is the main thing that is showing up once and again and again and again? Commit to doing it every day for at least 2 months, and then you can jump to the next thing. That is my recommendation, and have the ability to commit. And with this, I will leave you. I hope you like this, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.